Good morning. We're ready to ride. Some fun light coming into the room this morning. I like it. Dramatic. Well, welcome to class. Hope you're feeling good. Ready for a nice, beautiful, meditative, powerful ride. Let's start off just by sitting up nice and tall on our bikes with the resistance really light and the legs moving slowly. As we sit up nice and tall, our arms can just hang by the side loosely. Fingers loose, relax, hands relax. Shoulders away from the ears. I sometimes put my head back like this. From a relaxed belly, and just feel the weight of the upper body supported by the spine, settled onto the sit bones. And we can just start to get used to our legs making these beautiful circles. Getting reacquainted with our body on the bike and with the bike. We can return to our handlebars, and as we set our hands onto the bars, just relax the hands and the elbows. If you want, you can look at my hands. They just rest on the bars. Don't even hold on to them. My shoulders are still away from the ears, and my spine and neck are nicely aligned. And I'm really just getting into a nice, comfortable, effective cycling position on the bike. Once we've done that, we can just start to bring our leg speed up. Keep your resistance very, very, very light as you can get it. If you're on a regular fixed gear spin bike, make sure there's at least some resistance on it. We never want to pedal those without any resistance at all, because then the flywheel is just propelling the legs around in a circle. So get the tiniest bit of resistance on, and let's just bring our leg speed up to around 90 RPM or so. As we do this, our practice is to be aware of our bodies, and then right now I'm paying attention to how my hips and down are separated from my hips and up. That is, the lower body is moving rather independently of the upper body, which means a little bit of action in the hips, just a little bit. So now we're at 90 RPM, pedaling with really light resistance, and this is contributing to our warm-up. Let's just add a tiny bit, just a tiny, tiny little bit of resistance. Really just the amount that you can first feel as you turn the knob or move the lever. hold that same RPM we had before, around 90 RPM. Use your bike computer if you have one. Now let's bring in a little tiny bit more again, just enough that you can feel it. Just enough. Maybe shake out an arm. Let's go ahead and bring our leg speed up to about 100 RPM. Add 10 RPM to your pedal stroke. And as we do this, you're going to notice that the hips want to start to bounce. The faster we pedal, the more the hips want to bounce. And those of you on a fixed gear bike, this is especially true, because then that weight's getting thrown up into your leg. So let's, at this high pedal speed of about 100 RPM, let's work on stitching together this pedal stroke beautifully and smoothly, keeping the hips steady on the saddle. Legs are warming up. We start to feel a smoothness coming into the pedal stroke as those muscles warm up. Now let's slow our legs back down to 90, but this time add now even more resistance in. Still not hard, still not causing discomfort in the muscles of the legs. Just slowly bringing in the work into the muscles. Now you see I've sat up for a second. That's perfectly acceptable. My back was hurting a little bit. Triceps were getting a little tired. I don't know why. So I sat up. And now I'm first starting to notice my breath is picking up. That just came into my awareness. And so I want you to leave your resistance where it is. And let's slow the legs way down again. Just shake out the shoulders into tension. Maybe roll your neck a little bit. Our handlebars. Let's bring our leg speed back to 90 RPM. Now the last time we were at 100, we had less resistance than we have right now. So as we come up again to 100 RPM, this is more work. We're just adding it in little by little. So come on up, 100 RPM with this new resistance we added. Again, notice the hips, see if they're bouncing. If so, smooth out your pedal stroke, stitch together that circle. First, just now became aware of a warmth in my body. legs and my forehead. Perfect. And with this new resistance, I am starting to feel a little bit of fatigue in the muscles, just a little. I would like for you to think to yourself that I could hold on to this for, maybe 10 minutes, maybe longer, given the proper inducements and encouragement. So adjust your resistance if necessary to get that feeling. I think if I did that, I would be quite out of breath. I think I could do it. So this is going to be kind of challenging, but I want you to add a little more resistance now, holding this rhythm. Pay attention to where you feel that in the muscles of your legs. You're very much going to feel it in the quads, but that's obvious. See if you can feel your ball of your foot scraping through the bottom, pulling backwards using the calves and the hamstrings. Breathing definitely picking up now. In 3, 2, 1. Reduce your resistance, slow your legs for just a second. Sit up. Take a few deep breaths. Just very quick. Active recovery and recentering. Very much I'm a warmed up person now. Almost sweaty. Come on back to your handlebars. Let's settle in on this rhythm of the song that you hear. And I love this kind of practice, but just close your eyes. Keep your resistance light for now. Just feel for this rhythm. And notice when your legs are on it. The music to myself a little bit. You might have heard me doing it. Now stay at this rhythm. We're going to go into something deep and challenging now. We're going to add resistance. It feels on a perceived exertion scale at this pedal speed to be an 8 or 9 perceived exertion. Or another way to put it, it feels like you couldn't hold it 5 minutes. That's the feeling I want you to create at this pedal speed when we add resistance. Let's take a deep breath. Let's focus our minds. Let's get relaxed in a beautiful position on the bike. In 3, and 2, and 1. Add that in. Feel the muscle engagement. might notice I have my eyes closed. I'm just trying to be as present as possible. Hearing the music, feeling the muscles work. Noticing the breathing picking up quite quickly. Without changing your rhythm, reduce the resistance back down to something much more tolerable. Take the work out of the muscles and keep the leg speed up. Take note of your breathing right now. Take note if you could have held that 5 minutes. This is all about feel. And 3. And 2. And 1. Slow your legs down for just a second again. Nice. Now we're going to go deeper. You see my legs? They just automatically found the rhythm to this song. See if you can do that too as you're sitting up with me. Now this is at the very low end of pedal speeds that we'll use in a RevoCycle class, but we're going to use it. Let's come back into our cycling position. We're going to start a hill now. So you notice where my hands automatically went? See, I knew we were going to do a hill. So my hands went to my hill climbing position. Add in resistance that feels at this rhythm like a very steep hill. Notice the hips and the glutes pushing you over the top. Just to remind you, the reason I put my hands into the middle like this when I climb a hill is because it gets me ever so slightly more upright. And when my back is more upright, my hips and glutes can push more effectively over the top. And you can do that experiment. You can go to the opposite extreme and notice how when you get way down like this, it's mostly quads. And when you come up like this, oh, there's the lower back and hips. We're just working our way up a hill. It is absolutely uncomfortable right now. And one of our main goals here is to notice that, and yet we stay with it. Noticing now my legs are struggling a little bit to stay with this climbing cadence I've set up, which is about 60 RPM. And I'm having this internal debate. Should I reduce my resistance, or can I stay with this? I decided I will stay with this. Probably a really good time for us to apply our lesson about extending the pedal stroke through the bottom. I'm doing that. I'm applying that lesson right now. All right, in 3, and 2, and 1. Let's bring our resistance back down to light. If you have a heart rate monitor on, look at it right now. See where you're at. If you don't, check your breathing. Compared to mine. Just a few turns of the pedals now at light resistance to let the leg recover a little from that hard effort, and then we're getting right back into it. This time though, we're going to stand out of the saddle. In 3, and 2, and 1. Back to seated climbing. Feel free to modify the resistance. It's okay. Just get a feeling like you're climbing up a hill. Your rhythm is right, 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 or left. Now when we come out of the saddle, we're going to stand for about 10 seconds each time. Those of you new to RevoCycle, those of you on fixed gear spin bikes. With RevoCycle classes, when we stand, we add massive resistance so that we can't pedal seated. We have to stand. That might be new to you. Might be a little scary. That's okay. Play with it. But think about getting the gear you absolutely have to stand on. Here's your countdown. In 3, 2, 1. Add extra heavy resistance. Rise into it nice and tall. Hands are still light on the bars. Our weight is going into the pedal stroke. Very powerful. Very heavy. Let's come back to our seated climbing position. Still in our hill. We're going to stand again. And this time I want you to focus on the feeling of your weight transferring through the glutes as you step into each pedal stroke. Your upper body weight transfers through the glutes and hips into the pedals. That's why we stand. And that's why we want to stay relatively tall, not leaning forward, so that weight can go into the pedals. Are you ready? 3, and 2, and 1. Crank that resistance. Rise up. You can notice how light my hands are, right? Just really using the bars to keep myself balanced. All right, back to light resistance. We're onto a flat road. Easy gear. Leg speed comes up. This is one of my favorite moments after slow, heavy, very challenging pedaling. It feels funny to take the resistance off and bring the leg speed up. The legs are not used to this right now. And you might find your legs just naturally aligning to this rhythm. Mine have. Gone out, board again. I'm noticing my hips and how they want to bounce a little bit, so I'm steadying my weight, shaking out my shoulders. What do you say? We go even deeper now. I want you to add, when I tell you, a level of resistance couldn't hold for 2 minutes, couldn't do it. This rhythm, you add the resistance to a level you couldn't hold 2 minutes. And it's powerful, and it's challenging. It's a great time to go within. In 3, 2, and 1, add that resistance in. We're going 1 minute. You couldn't hold it 2. We're going 1. Settle in. I'll see you in a minute. All right, slow your legs, reduce your resistance. Check on your breathing, check on your heart rate. That was about a minute. Our goal was to get that kind of output that we couldn't sustain for 2 minutes. So think about it. How close did you come to your goal? What if we had to do that another minute? Could you have stayed there? Just integrate. Integrate the feelings, the thoughts, the experience. Again, just let your legs find this rhythm as we're sitting up. And let's return to our handlebars. Holding this rhythm, but with light resistance right now. Bring in now the gear. A resistance that feels like you're working, but at a low level. We had really light before, so just bring in the very low level of work. We're going to do a series of out of the saddle pieces where we start with this rhythm and this resistance. But we add resistance, stand up, accelerate the legs off this rhythm. The idea is that we're shifting gears on our bike, standing up onto the gear and accelerating forward. That's the idea. And yes, these will be uncomfortable. We'll feel it really in the quads. See if you can notice that. Each one's short. Each one's really short. Are you ready for your first one? Let's do it, shall we? In 3, and 2, and 1. Add the resistance, accelerate your legs. Those of you on a fixed gear spin bike, get something that at this pedal speed standing really is uncomfortable in the quads. Get that. Now come back to light and slow your legs. As we recover a little bit, I want you to think about if you're doing that on your bike outside, you'd be able to do it 15-20 seconds or so until your legs are just cooked. And then you'd shift gears and come back and sit down. That's what we're doing. Cooked. That's a word we always used to use in my racing days. You know what I mean? Let's get ready for our next one, shall we? In 3, and 2, and 1. Add that resistance, shift your gears, accelerate the legs. Come back to light resistance. Slow your legs. One more to go. Getting your breath as best you can in between. Let's quickly check in with our body, shall we? How are your hands doing? Your shoulders, your elbows, your spine, your neck. Relaxed, stress-free. Here comes our next one and our last one. In 3, and 2, and 1. Bring the resistance up, accelerating by standing up on a hard gear. And come back down, reducing your resistance. Oh, how's your breathing? Mine's really high. I love that. I love that. Without adding any resistance right now, close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. You don't have to, but if it's comfortable, close your eyes and just allow your body to search for and find this rhythm, keeping your resistance light, just practicing attunement here. we're holding this rhythm, we're very aware of the body. We're constantly tuning in and checking for posture and position. We're noticing if the hips are bouncing. We're feeling the decoupling of the upper body from the lower body. All right, you have your rhythm. Let's finish strong today on a flat road with a hard gear. Reach down, add resistance, holding this rhythm. Bring in something you couldn't hold 4 minutes. Could not hold it 4 minutes, couldn't do it. And yeah, you can spend the first 10 or 20 seconds going, did I get the right amount or not? That's great. That's really checking in with your body and how it feels. That's perfect. My answer to myself right now, to the question, could I hold this 4 minutes, is I don't know. Maybe. My legs are getting tired. My quads are hurting. I'm now trying to redistribute the work a little bit through the legs. Pulling through the bottom. Driving over the top. Breathing. Sweat's dripping off my nose now. I don't know how good this camera is. If you can see that. And 3, and 2, and 1. Slow your legs, reduce your resistance. I have an answer to my question. I could not have held that a total of 4 minutes. My heart. Feel it in my hand. Right now our goal is just to cool down so we have light resistance, slow pedal speed, and we're just allowing the heart rate and the breathing to return to normal. Feeling my heart slow down as I keep my hand here. Way down now. My breathing is almost back to normal now. You just keep track of yours. Yours will come down at a different rate than mine. Maybe faster, maybe slower. But you'll notice as you get more and more fit, your heart rate returns to normal more quickly. And it's a fun thing to pay attention to as you continue to ride over weeks and months, years, even. If you can, reduce your resistance some more. If you can, slow your legs down a little bit more. Beautiful, beautiful, powerful ride today. My heart rate, my breathing are back to normal. So I'm going to let my legs slow to a stop. And as I come to a stop, I just sit still, upright and tall. Pay attention. How I feel, how my legs feel. I really notice a much more centered state for myself. Much more than at the beginning of the class. And that is my intrinsic reward. That is what then gets me on the bike the next day and the next. So see if you can notice that. Pay attention to that after every class, after every workout. Alright, let's rise up. 3 and 9 o'clock with the feet. And just dropping the heel. Feel a stretch in the calves. Let's rotate the back foot to the front and drop the heel. Alright, let's swing the leg over the bike. And we're going to stretch our quads and our hamstrings. Let's start with the quads. And just pull back on an ankle here, feeling the stretch in the front of the leg. Really grateful for my big windows here that I get to look out when I'm stretching. See the day, see the clouds, see the blue sky, see the change. Let's stretch our hamstrings. Choose handlebars, saddle, or top part of the bike. Just place an ankle on one of those three. And just hold. Slight stretch in the hamstring. Switch to the other leg. Beautiful, beautiful ride today. If you're new to RevoCycle, click our little subscribe button down there. Leave a comment, like the video. It helps out our channel. We have a donation page. If you'd like to donate, there's a little box for that here in the video and also on our channel page. Beautiful ride today. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to leave the music playing for